How's it going, everybody? It's the John Low Fox here. It's my channel where I talk about anime, video games, cartoons, most notably Sonic and Ninja Turtles. And today, I'm here to talk about some Sonic. That's right. So, I know it's been a while since I've really talked about Sonic in general, but you know what? I just figured, fuck it, because there's a current controversy right now, and I feel like that's probably worth talking about, since everybody's going around like, oh my gosh, Sonic's gone woke and all that stuff. So obviously I have my own opinion and my own statement that I gotta make to kind of clear things up or pacify things or whatever you want to call it. I am outside right now, so in case you guys hear any wind or any passing by cars, that's kind of the reason why. But you know, I just felt like just getting out here, just making a quick little video. Not sure how long it's gonna be because it's kind of unscripted, but I'll get right into it. You know, I have some bullets and points and all that stuff that I wanted to acknowledge, but yeah, but completely unscripted. So let's get into it. Alright, so you're probably wondering what exactly is the problem here. So basically, as we all know, that there's a new Sonic game coming out called Sonic X Shadow Generations, which is basically kind of like a remake or a remaster or whatever of like Sonic Generations and stuff, but they're kind of adding an extra story to it, which is involving Shadow, where you get to play as Shadow and stuff and play through a story part. So think of it as like, oh, this is what Shadow was doing the entire time while Sonic was, you know, doing everything else inside Sonic Generations, you know? So pretty much there are definitely some changes and stuff. It's kind of going under a rewrite because I believe currently the new story is written by Ian Flynn, which some fans are actually definitely loving and stuff, you know, some of the changes and all that. Personally myself, I never had a problem with the original Sonic Generations, just to make that clear. I always felt like, yeah, I mean, Sonic Generations, it was all right. Like, I mean, the fucking gameplay, that's the takeaway from it. You know, it was a really fun game to play. But the story itself, though, it's like, yeah, nothing too crazy. Just, it just, again, it was in that Colors era, so basically it kind of felt like a Saturday morning kind of cartoon, you know? So, but yeah, but definitely we'll definitely get a lot more depth here with the new Sonic X Shadow Generations story and all that stuff, pretty much. But yeah, so what's the real problem? All right, so because it's being remade and all that stuff, there are obviously going to be some changes. So expect there to be definitely some stuff like retcons and all that stuff. A lot of people have been calling it censorship. So let me get into the major thing here, why everyone's up in arms. So there was a scene inside Sonic Generations, and it was a small little quick blinking if you miss it kind of scene where, you know, like at the start of the game where everybody's celebrating Sonic's birthday, right? And like Amy tries to run up and like hug Sonic, and then Sonic's like pushing her back with one hand and stuff, and it's like, oh my god, guys, for me, you shouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, pretty much that. Now, again, like I said, it's one of those blinking you miss it moments. I didn't really think about it too much. I still don't even think about it too much because it ain't that big of a deal, in my opinion. Just as much as it's not as big of a deal to fight to keep that change or keep that original thing in the game. That's just me, okay? But yeah, but this was during the time where like a lot of people probably saw like Amy as still as like that yandere type, or still like obsessive, clingy and possessive of Sonic and all that stuff. And that's probably still some people's like perception about Amy and stuff, even though Amy hasn't been written that way since like, honestly, since like the last Sonic Riders. I think it was Sonic Free Riders, which was like over at least 14 years ago at this point, you know, before Generations. All right, that was like, well, a year before Generations, but still, that was like over 14 years ago. Almost 15, so it's like, yeah. And ever since, Amy's kind of been different as a character anyways, you know? But anyways, so they took that scene out and replaced it with a different scene where Amy walks up and actually serves Sonic cupcakes. So a lot of people have been like, oh my gosh, how dare they? You know what I mean? How dare they take away Amy's agency about being clingy, obsessive, and all that stuff, or whatever, and Sonic pushing her back with his hand and all that stuff in exchange for her serving him cupcakes. Oh my god, she's a total girl boss, people. It's so demonic, you know what I mean? Like, people, I've been seeing videos and stuff lately about people saying that, people like Melanie Mac. I just watched Yellow Flash's video, even some people that I kind of admire, like Jay the Concept and stuff, you know? And I just feel like, okay, it comes off as ignorance because some of these people, as much as I like them, all right, or I'm subscribed to them or whatever, they're more so on the outside looking in, okay? And what I mean by that is they don't know that, like, some of the stuff inside Sonic, it's not, the changes for this game wasn't made because, oh, they want to accommodate a modern audience or whatever. Maybe, but not for a woke ideology, though, like a lot of people are insinuating. No, the changes were made because Sega has mandates, right? Ever since the comics, all right? We know this, all right? Because I've talked about it before on this channel. but we know that Sega has mandates for the comics where characters had to be written and portrayed a certain type of way, or they have to like, or they can't do this, cover that. So some people even complained about Amy's bio too, because in her Generations bio, they said that Amy was like Sonic's self-proclaimed girlfriend, that kind of thing, but they changed it to be like, well, she's inspired by Sonic and she wants to be helpful, and they never like implied that she has, even though we know Amy still has a crush on Sonic. Like, come on, let's be honest. But I'm just saying, like, pretty much they changed all that. But that's because, again, Sega has mandates, all right? They took out the whole relationship factor inside Sonic games in general because they kind of don't want to, like, exploit that, which that's what the comics did for the most part. And that's kind of what got them a little bit into some trouble, among other things, of course, you know? So they didn't want to, like, really touch that subject. So they kind of just got rid of it in general. So they trust me, Sega, for the time being, they're not going to try and touch relationships or any kind of romances, okay? That's just how it is. So that's probably why they made the change, okay? So all the people that are complaining, I still like feel like it's over nothing, really. And then the cupcake thing, like I said, it's really not that bad of a change. If you ask me honestly, I think it's probably a better improvement, okay? I didn't mind the original too much or care much too. Well, I didn't care much for it. But if I'm going to be honest, though, like, because Sonic and Amy, they're actually, even if you don't see them as, like, lovers or love interest or whatever, they are. Like, because, you know, I'm a huge Sonic and Amy fan. Trust me, they are. But outside of that, let's just say they're still close friends, okay? Amy helped, like, throw this surprise birthday party for Sonic and everything, made him cupcakes and all that other stuff. And some people were like, oh my God, she doesn't have any agency or any depth anymore now that you took away her exaggerated characterization. Okay. Now, for the people that don't know, because they probably played like maybe one or two Sonic games and maybe saw a cartoon back in the day since like, 2006 or something, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to make this clear. Amy likes to bake, okay? She likes to bake. She likes to cook. That's her thing, all right? Maybe a small little detail, but even back in Sonic X, like Amy actually loved cooking and all that stuff, and actually had dreams about opening up her own bakery and all that stuff, right? And we see that here in Generations where she made cupcakes or whatever, and she's giving it to Sonic. And you could probably say, well, that's Sonic X, that's non-canon. Okay. I mean, same shit inside Sonic Battle and stuff. Inside Sonic Battle, Amy also had a thing for sweets and stuff like that, and was trying to lose weight, you know? But anyways, I just feel like, yeah, people were making a big deal enough of that with that one change and all that stuff, but that's just me, all right?
Yo, Ames, dinner ready yet? Why is it that the female has to cook? As role models, you must be careful not to fall into gender stereotypes.
While I agree with you in principle, the simple fact is I'm the only one who knows how to cook. And I enjoy it.
What you like is unimportant. You're a role model now.
Oh yeah, and before I move on, I kind of wanted to say another thing too, or add one more thing, but about the mandates. So, again, Sonic Generations came out back in like 2011, okay? The mandates, I don't remember when that was established, but that was like somewhere around the mid-2010s, okay? So, obviously they're doing a remake or remaster of Generations, so there's bound to be like, you know, they're going to change some things around kind of to kind of align with their policies. That's how that is, all right? But that's all I wanted to say. Now I'm going to talk about some of the other things that people have been talking about with this whole Sonic censorship thing. All right? All right, so for this next one, that's also kind of a little bit of a big deal. And I might actually agree with this one too, actually. But they kind of censored Rouge's back, or kind of altered her outfit a little bit, okay? So, as we know the kind of outfit that Rouge usually wears, right? We know it's like usually like this, it's like a skin-tight suit or something where, like, you know, kind of like her shoulders and stuff are out and everything, and like her back and all that stuff, like mainly for her wings, of course, you know, that kind of thing. You know, like Rouge has had other outfits, like we've seen inside Sonic Prime or Sonic Heroes, but we know the iconic one that she normally wears in like Sonic Adventures too. Now, I will agree that, and it's not because of, well, I'm not sure if, well, it might be because of sexualization, I don't know, but that is kind of dumb in my book that they had to alter that, because yeah, and honestly, it just felt like a little bit like laziness. It's like, okay, those were one of those, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of moments and stuff, you know, because, you know, I kind of care a little bit for detail, being an artist and everything, so I'm just like, okay, so why'd you have to change that? You know, it was like you just could have just left that alone, or it kind of looks a little bit like kind of bad in my opinion to kind of censor it, but okay, whatever, right? All right, so next up, I'm going to talk about the altered dialogue. Now, this is also another one that some people probably aren't even thinking about like that, but they're like, oh my god, they took out the dialogue where, like, Knuckles, for example, is like fat shaming Sonic or something like that. Now, here's the thing, I don't know if that's true or not. Well, I would say this. Now, obviously, when Knuckles said that, when he's talking about, hey, Sonic, did you put on a couple of pounds? He's talking about, it's pretty obvious he's probably talking to classic Sonic, okay? I don't remember how the dialogue goes. I'm a huge Sonic fan, but I can't remember every single thing like that. But it's most likely he's talking to classic Sonic, because certain characters have different interactions or different, like, you know, like quotes that they say to, like, either classic or modern Sonic whenever they're rescued, okay? So obviously Knuckles probably had a different line of dialogue or whatever that might have been changed, or it could be referring to a modern Sonic. You never know. But again, that just feels like one of those things. And on top of that, if you guys didn't realize, or for the people that are like, again, on the outside looking in, they changed Knuckles' voice actor. Okay? Now, they do have a lot of the same voice actors and stuff from Sonic Generations. Like, they still have, like, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who voices Tails, Roger Craig Smith, who voices Sonic, Mike Pollock, who voices Eggman, Cindy Robertson, who still voices Amy and all that stuff, etc. You know, they still have a lot of their voice actors from Generations, but they changed around a few, like Knuckles and maybe I think Rouge and a few others too that they've kind of like recasted since like Team Sonic Racing, you know. I know Silver also got recasted too for Bryce Papenbrook as well. So yeah, so that's probably the reason for the altered dialogue. I doubt I'm pretty sure it's probably not for the fat shaming thing or whatever, but it's, again, one of those things like, who the hell cares? And trust me, I get it. I mean, I really do, about the whole woke ideology and how it's like going on with video games and stuff. Hell, I made a video not too long ago talking about that stuff too, like how that's getting annoying and how we're getting crap like Concord. But are we seriously going to compare Sonic X Generations right now to some shit like Concord or Dustborn or something, where they literally took taxpayer money to put out some slop, you know? I mean, this is obviously a remaster and stuff, or a remake and stuff, just obviously they kind of altered the story a little bit for the most part, and they added in the whole shadow thing, which is pretty cool. So yeah, definitely a lot more people are clamoring for that, you know? But it's just like, yeah, man, like, really. So, I mean, I understand, because hell, like, Tomb Raider, right, recently. Tomb Raider has, like, a Netflix show that's out. Now, I'm not watching it for obvious reasons, because I heard it's pretty bad and all that stuff. Hell, IGN gave it a 5. Not really interested in Tomb Raider like that. Well, I'm starting to get a little interested, because I actually got a couple of Tomb Raider games on PS1 that I just, you know, because I wanted to kind of, like, you know, look into the series a little bit, you know. But the show, I'm just like, yeah, the show is probably not the best way to start into, like, getting into Tomb Raider, you know. So that's why, like, I kind of found some games at the at Goodwill, and I was like, you know what? Why not I get it, you know? Chance and opportunity, and it was a pretty good price, so I was like, bet, let me get it. But anyways, but neither here nor there. So the new Lara Croft show, a lot of people have been like like talking about that. I get it. They changed Laura and all that stuff, and trust me, I don't like. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of stupid too, because, you know, Laura is supposed to be like athletic and she's very like agile and acrobatic and all that stuff. Because I mean, I at least know of Tomb Raider, of course, you know, and I know her for those things. So it is kind of dumb that they had to like make her a little bit more swole and masculine, and hell, they took away her breasts too, and all that stuff. We know Lara Croft got them titties, so it's like, what are you doing, you know? But yeah, and then you got some people who are like, oh, well, I like this androgynous look to Lara Croft. Okay, good for you, but the vast majority of us don't, and we're not going to get invested into it. And then on top of that, yeah, and then giving Lara Croft pants and all that stuff, and it's like, you know, she's kind of wearing shorts for a reason when she's going on these things. Because again, I've been playing a little bit of Lara Croft lately, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see the reason why she's probably wearing that, like the tank top and the shorts and stuff, because Lara Croft is an expert swimmer. Okay, you're going to tell me that she's going to be an expert swimmer with those pants and that tank top? Okay, cool. That's very cool. Okay. But anyways, but yeah, so yeah, I definitely get it though, but I wouldn't really say like that's on the level of like, you know, Sonic X Generations is on that level of what Tomb Raider is doing right now, or any other like of the aforementioned games and stuff that I've talked about. Okay. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much for the like most part. But I gotta say, like, I just feel like a lot of people are definitely ignoring a lot of the good in favor of the bad a lot. So I say that because there's a lot of good for like Sonic X Shadow Generations. Like, didn't we not just get those amazing like animated like not even cutscenes, but those were like those little shorts and stuff that they did that they had officially had put out and all that stuff to kind of like tease Sonic X Generations or promote it, or Sonic X Shadow Generation, you know what I mean, to promote that, right? And everybody was like, oh my god, this is the Riz, or this is this is the shit, like a lot of people love that, right? With Shadow and stuff and all that stuff and Maria, and you saw that whole fight with him and Gemroll and all that stuff. Did we not? And did we not praise it? So now where are we at? We're talking about, censorship. Oh my god, I can't believe they changed minor details and stuff, like Amy serving Sonic cupcakes and being a better friend and stuff, or her and Sonic kind of having a more of a better relationship than we saw prior to that, or they covered up Rouge's back, which again I will say that is lazy and that is stupid. I will agree on that, but still it's just like, oh well, now I don't even want to get the game anymore because of that, And it's like, what? Like, look, I've been looking at some cutscenes or some scenes, like some of the boss battles and all that stuff, or some of the gameplay, and I'm like, the shit looks good. Like, I mean, I'm not pre-ordering it because I kind of learned that sometimes some of these things are best to just like get when the prices go down, because I'm not trying to drop a lot of money like that. I'm not trying to spend like, $60 to be the first to get it, and then a couple months later it's down to at least like maybe $30 or some shit. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna wait for that. All right, that's just me. But for somebody else, I'm just like, bro, you really gonna miss out because of that, or for that one reason? So yeah, I mean, I totally get it, but I'm just like, bro, that's stupid right there, in my opinion. Or I just feel like, all right, there's a lot of fake outrage, or you guys are letting simple shit kind of get to you. That's just how I feel. Okay. But yeah, or it's like when people were complaining about Mike Pollock and stuff, because this was probably like a couple of months ago, but I saw that that little thing that the commentary that Mike Pollock did when he was like voicing Dr. Eggman, and Dr. Eggman was like narrating like the whole incident with Maria, his cousin, and Professor Gerald, his grandpa and stuff, and how the space colony arc and all that stuff, and it really felt good, genuine, like emotional and everything, like it really did feel pretty good, and a lot of people were praising that until later on Twitter. I found out like a couple days later, people were like, fuck Mike Pollock, I don't like him anymore, he should get recasted, blah blah blah, because I guess Mike Pollock said this one thing or whatever he had an opinion on. I don't know his stance or whatever. He said something that I think it has something to do with another country or whatever. And I felt like people kind of overreacted a lot to that, and it was just like, yeah. And I don't think it was anything too crazy or wild, but it was like one thing. And it wasn't like Mike Pollock was going back and forth with anybody in particular. It was just like, oh, he said that, and then people blew up over it. And it was just like, okay, but what about his performance from, you know what I mean? It's like, damn. So, yeah, all this and stuff to me is just a lot of fake outrage and all that stuff. Or a lot of people are just, again, talking out of ignorance, or they don't know what the hell they're talking about because they don't know about the mandates. And for the people that are like having all this fake ass outrage and stuff, where the hell were you guys at with the whole fucking Colors era and shit, Where, yeah, in the Colors era, they definitely made a lot of things very PC and stuff, and they had to like, take out some stuff, or not even take out some stuff, but they tried to like really not touch up on certain things that like really hold a lot of depth within the Sonic series. Like, again, Professor Gerald and Maria, which, guess what? Sonic X Generations are bringing them back. Or they didn't want to touch on like other human characters and stuff because they had this thing where Takashi Iizuka was talking about how there's two worlds or something inside Sonic, and how one is the human world and the other is the Mobian one, which that doesn't make any sense because, I mean, it made sense inside Sonic X because that was established, but that was only just covered in an interview. We've never seen that in any of the games where at some point Sonic and his friends decided, hey, you know what? Let's go back to our world. And you know what I mean? That was just dumb. But yeah, where were you guys at when that was happening, right? But now, we're changing things around, like certain cupcakes or certain rewrites or whatever. Okay. I get it. But anyways, that's all I got to say there. Tell me down below what you guys think. Do you hate the changes? Do you like the retcons? Do you think it's woke? Obviously, I do not. I think it's stupid, and I feel like people definitely, I know I'm usually on the whole anti-woke side myself, but this time around, I'm turning the hoses, okay? Because I had to make this statement. But anyways, and hell, as a huge Sonic fan with all this knowledge and stuff, I had to say my piece, all right? But anyways, this is John Lo Fox, and I'm out. Peace, and until we meet again.
Shit, for one thing, calm down. Slow your roll. Don't let that man pump you up, Data, and get your ass shot out here.